Hi, my name is Victor Santos. I'm a Brazilian-American children's book author, a professional linguist, and a proud father to two multilingual and multicultural children. I'm the author of the book What Makes Us Human, which is a book about language and language diversity. It also focuses on the connection between language and culture. And the book has been chosen by UNESCO to be the official book for the United Nations International Decade of Indigenous Languages, which is a period of 10 years that goes from 2022 to 2032, where the United Nations, especially through UNESCO, is trying to make it very clear that indigenous languages are also very important, and many of them are at risk of disappearing. When a language disappears, all of the knowledge that has been embodied in that language, all of the biological knowledge, the world system, the knowledge about plants and about philosophy at the end of the day, goes away as well. And when that happens, it's a loss not only for the people who speak that language, but a loss for all of humanity as well. So these are some of the things that the book talks about. It works as a riddle where you don't really know what the theme of the book is until you get to the last page. And every single page will give you a little clue, either through the text or through the illustrations, about what the theme is. As you can see here on this page, for example, where we are touching on themes of Braille, on the elevators, for example, and the fact that Braille is also a representation of language. Here we have a page where you have a bunch of different alphabets from the world's languages hidden in the plants, talking about just how diverse writing systems can be, etc. So the book has now been published in over 30 languages in partnership with UNESCO, and I'm going to show you some of the editions just because it's really cool, but I want to play a game. I'm first going to show you the book, and I'll give you maybe 2 seconds to think what language it is. And then if you need, pause the video and try to see if you can recognize the language. And then I'll talk a little bit more about language and language diversity. Okay, you ready for a language game? Here's the very first language. Most of you will know this one. English. French. Slovenian. Marathi, spoken in India, in Maharashtra. Basque, spoken in Spain. Arabic. Brazilian Portuguese. The book has been licensed into Persian as well, Farsi Persian, but I don't have a copy yet because it hasn't been published yet. So let's go on to the next one. This is a bilingual edition published in Chile in Spanish and a indigenous language of Chile. It's called Mapudungun. It's the language spoken by the Mapuche people in Chile. Galician, spoken in Spain as well, a Romance language. Catalan, spoken in Spain. Asturian, spoken in Spain. The next one is also a bilingual edition published in Mexico in Spanish and a indigenous language of Mexico called Ñañú, spoken by the Otomi people. Spanish. The book has also been published in German. It's coming out at the end of this year in German, so I don't have the book yet, but German is one of the languages. Next one. Simplified Chinese. Korean. Here we have another bilingual edition in Mauritius, which is published in French plus Mauritian Creole. European Portuguese. Some people say these are different dialects of the same language, and you can actually see that the titles are different as well. Next. Italian. Japanese. Greek. Turkish. The book is going to be published now on February 21st, 2025 in Hawaiian. And February 21st, as we all know, is the United Nations International Mother Language Day. This was published in Mali in a language called Bambara. And here we have another language of Mali called Soninke. Other languages the book has been published in are Wolof from Senegal, Pular from Senegal, Esperanto, and then 6 languages that are Mayan languages in Guatemala. And they are Itza, Mopan, Chorti, Uspanteco, Kaqchikel, and Yechi. So I hope you liked our game, and now I'd like to talk a little bit more about language, language diversity, and language preservation. So why did I decide to write and produce What Makes Us Human? As a linguist, I've always loved languages, and we live in a world where we have approximately 7,160 languages. That seems like a lot of languages, but when you look at the facts, 50% of these languages are spoken by fewer than 10,000 people. 25% of those languages are spoken by fewer than 1,000 people. So we have a lot of languages in the world, the great majority that are spoken by a very small number of people. And when that language dies, all of the knowledge from that language will disappear with it. So I wanted to write a book that would drive the point home that every single language is important, every single language deserves to exist, and we should, to the very best of our ability, preserve the languages that we have in the world. They are a treasure not only to the people who speak them, but a treasure to all of humanity. So today, on the United Nations International Mother Language Day, I would like, first of all, to thank all of you who are watching, because if you're watching this video, it means that you also deeply care about language and about languages. I would like to thank all of the activists out there who are fighting to preserve languages. For example, Wikitongues, the work that they're doing is absolutely amazing. They're helping to revitalize languages, they're helping to document the languages and make sure there's a record for them in the future that can be used also to help revitalize and help younger people in the language to speak it as well, because that's how languages continue to exist. When parents stop speaking the language and kids are not learning it, that's basically a death sentence. So I think what the book is doing in all of these languages, what Wikitongues is doing, is creating materials that will help with the preservation of those languages, with documentation, and also spreading the message about how important it is. Part of the royalties from sales of the book go to organizations fighting to preserve languages, and from the bottom of my heart, I would like to thank all of you and invite you to get to know the book a little bit better. Thank you so much. And if you want to know a little bit more about the book, there is a link at the bottom where you can have access to all of the editions, etc. Bye, everybody.